What's happening, guys? I'm sure you guys have heard the news of UFC 311. Some of the fights have been announced, and the card is looking quite stacked already. So let's start off with Merab versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Obviously, this is a bantamweight fight, and I guess Dana wants the Dagestanis to be on top of the sport because I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have rather seen a Sean O'Malley rematch, but it is what it is. Umar's ranked second, so can't really be too fast. To be honest with you guys, this is the co-main event as well. What's that? Sorry guys, something's hurting me on my head. And apologizes in advance because if I cough, it's because I've been a bit unwell the last couple of days, and yeah, I'm still on the mend. But anyways, this is Merab versus Umar Nurmagomedov. It's the co-main event for UFC 311. Takes place January the 18th in Los Angeles, California, and as you guys should know, it's a bantamweight title fight. This got a lot announced last night. Well, last night in the UK. Obviously, I know the timing and whatnot's different. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, and the thing is, I want to go with Merab to win, but I'm gonna keep it real. I think Umar probably gets the job done. Like Merab ain't got what's it called? Merab ain't got knockout power. Neither does well, from what I know of Umar, neither does Umar. So I think the thing is, I think Umar is going to be able to stuff a lot of Merab's takedown attempts, and I feel like that will give Umar an advantage to strike a bit more. He probably will mix in some takedowns, but I reckon Umar is going to feel a lot more confident in the striking because he knows he can stuff Merab's takedowns. But who knows? It could be a back and forth competitive fight in terms of the grappling, but in terms of the striking, I'm leaning more towards Umar. And as to be honest with you guys, I'm not even gonna lie. If I had it my way, if I actually had it my way, none of them should win. Both of them should just trip over at a UFC event, like what happened to Tony Ferguson, and they're both out of the fight. Because if I actually had it my way, I wouldn't want to see none. Sorry, guys. I wouldn't want to see any of them as champion. But with that being said, the bantamweight division is quite competitive, so who knows what could happen in the future. But yeah, I'm going to pick Umar to win this fight. Obviously, this is an early prediction, so it may change the closer we get to the date. But I'm picking Umar for that fight. Obviously, to be honest, I think it's going to go to a decision. It's 25 minutes. And I know Merab's got a good gas tank. I haven't really seen much of Umar. But yeah, good luck to them both. But I see Umar winning this fight, man. Just because I feel like he's going to be able to stuff a lot more of Merab's takedowns. And then he'll feel a bit more confident with the striking and let his hands go a bit more. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that fight. And then another fight that actually got announced, and I'm excited for this one. This one is the main event, and it's also on UFC 311, and it's Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian. The rematch is finally happening, and I'm excited, guys, because I've seen a lot of people talking about this since it got announced, which was obviously last night. And a lot of people are already picking Islam, saying that Islam is improved significantly since Arman and him have fought, but Arman has also improved as well. Makachev, listen, as much as I don't really like them Dagestani as well, not all of them, it's just that Khabib camp. I gotta give it to Islam. All round, he's a very good fighter. Striking is very good. And to be honest, if I'm completely honest, I think he's already blown Khabib's UFC career or MMA career out of the park. Because what Islam has actually achieved, and he is an actual better all-round fighter. So I fuck with Islam way more than Khabib. I think this fight is going to be very competitive. Obviously, it's for the lightweight title bout, as you guys should know. Sarukian is the number one contender. It's just so techie, man, because as much as I've seen Arman improve, listen, people need to give Arman some props, man, because when they fought the first time, Arman came in on short notice and he made his debut against Islam, and he did very, very well. It was very competitive. The grappling exchanges were very, very high level, and I feel like we're going to see a lot of that in this fight. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is if it goes to a decision, I think Islam will win. So I think Sarukian has to either submit him or knock him out to get the win. Because Islam is a very good all-round fighter, and I would say his overall IQ is probably just a bit ahead of Arman. But I'd really like to see Arman get that belt, man, because I'll be real with you guys, I fuck with Arman a lot. And to be honest, I feel like he's the only one in that division that can actually give Islam a run for his money. People keep saying Charles Oliveira, but I beg, I don't want to air any of that rubbish anymore. I'll give it to Charles. I'll give it to Charles. His style, eh? He can submit Islam or knock him out, but respectfully, guys, take it how you want it. I might be wrong, but when they fought the first time, Charles looked scared, in my opinion. He didn't want to be in there with Islam. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But yeah, I'm going to pick Arman Sarukian to win this. I don't know how he's going to win it, but I'm going to pick Arman to win. I think we're going to see, it's going to be very competitive. We're going to see a lot of grappling exchanges. The only thing is, I don't see Arman shooting takedowns on Islam, whereas I see Islam shooting takedowns on Arman. So that's why I feel like Arman has to submit him or win by KO, because I feel like Islam is going to mix in the striking and the grappling very well. And if it goes to a decision, which I can see that happening, Islam will probably win. But if there is anyone that can do it, it's my guy, Arman Sarukian. And obviously it's a 5-round fight. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. And obviously Arman's been doing a lot of work with Hamzat. I think for the last year or so, I've been seeing them guys train together. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's helped him a lot, but we'll see, man. But that's what I think for that fight. And then another fight that got announced was obviously Kevin Holland versus I've forgotten his first name, but D Ridder. You guys know who he is. Obviously, he's just come from one championship. This is a middleweight bout. Also on UFC 311. I'm gonna keep it real. Before D Ridder came to the UFC, I hadn't watched any of his fights. Obviously, I watched his UFC debut. He ended up getting the submission, I believe it was. But I wasn't impressed. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I wasn't impressed with D Ridder. And I think, okay, this is what I will say. Standing up, I think Kevin Holland could piece up D Ridder and probably knock him out. But if they go to the ground, I've seen Kevin Holland not necessarily accept the position, the bottom position, but it's like he doesn't do much to try and get out of the position. Like me personally, if someone takes me down, I don't want to be. I'm quite comfortable on the ground. Like I don't panic or anything like that. But with that being said, my aim is to get back up. I don't want to be on the ground. I don't want someone on top of me draining me or threatening submissions. So that's where it's going to be very interesting to see if Holland is going to try and get back to the feet, or he's going to essentially accept the position. But yeah, I'm going to have to go with Kevin Holland for that fight. Although D Ridder probably could get the submission, but we'll see. Shouts out to Kevin Holland. I would like to see him get the win, but who knows? I don't know too much about D Ridder. Like I said, I hadn't watched him before his UFC debut, but I'm gonna pick Kevin Holland for that one. But don't be surprised, guys, if the unexpected happens, because with Kevin Holland, sometimes you actually don't know what to expect. But yeah, and then the last fight that got announced, well, one of the last fights that got announced, well, this was actually announced quite early. I think this was one of the first fights announced out of all four that I've spoke about, and this is on UFC 311 as well. Honestly, UFC 311 is looking good so far, so I want to see what they do with the prelims because the main card is looking very good. Obviously, I know we've got Aline Perez versus, I don't know who she's fighting, I can't remember, but I know Aline Perez likes to twerk and that, you know. I'm gonna keep it real. She's not the best looking, but I no go lie. I go chop. I will chop well. I no go lie. I will keep on real. I'm a Yoruba demon. I will chop well. But anyways, the fight that got announced was Yuri Prohatzka versus Jamal Hill, and there's been a lot of bad blood about it. A lot of bad blood between the two. Obviously, Jamal came out and was talking rubbish, saying, "Oh, look at your performance against your last two performances or whatever," and he was basically saying that he did better than Alex Pereira. He did better against Alex Pereira than Yuri did, but I'm not being funny. You didn't really, bro. Like, I know, Jamal, you want to use the excuse of the referee getting in the middle and Alex closed his distance, but I'm going to keep it real. Even if he didn't close his distance in that particular moment, I think the fight would have been the same outcome. Alex Pereira is very good. People don't. I like to compare him to Ilia Topuria in terms of the way they stalk their opponents and walk their opponents down. People like to say, "Oh, Alex Pereira just walks his opponents down," but it's easier said than done. And I feel like the fighters that are able to push you back and dictate how they want the fight to go, they are the elite fighters. Don't get me wrong, you should be able to fight. You should be able to fight on the back foot, but I feel like, especially in MMA, the guys that are coming forward and dictating the pace of the fight and how they want the fight to go, they're the guys that win fights and are the elite fighters, because everyone knows you don't want to get backed up to the cage. The closer and closer you get to the cage, the more trouble you're in. So, because it's not like a boxing ring where you got ropes and you can kind of like use the ropes, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's difficult to call this fight between Yuri and Hill. You know what? Because I actually don't like the Jamal Hill. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I just don't like your personality. You still keep going on and on and on about the loss to Alex Pereira. Just accept it, bro. It is what it is. But I'm gonna predict. My early prediction for this fight is Yuri Prohatzka to win by KO. I know that might sound wild to some of you guys, but I don't think Jamal has the power of like an Alex Pereira to put Jury out like that. Don't get me wrong, he probably could, but do I see that happening? No. I think it will be a competitive fight for however long it lasts. Um, but the crazy thing about this fight is that obviously I know Alex Pereira is probably going to fight Ankalaev next. But whoever wins this fight, it puts them, not even potentially, it does put them in line for the next shot at the title, obviously after Ankalaev. And the problem is, Jury has lost to Alex twice already. Both the same outcome, knockout. Jamal has lost to Alex once already by knockout. I mean, fair enough. It wouldn't be that bad to see how it goes in the second fight. I'll give you benefit of the doubt, Jamal Hill, but you're just a bitch because you keep complaining. But it's a very interesting matchup, man. It's a very interesting matchup. I mean, if I was Jamal Hill coming into this fight, I would include a lot of leg kicks because obviously Yuri's style, he's susceptible to leg kicks. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be competitive for however long it lasts. But I'm gonna have to go with Yuri, man. I'm gonna have to go with Yuri on this one, and yeah, that's my predictions. Obviously, the more fights that get announced, I'll be giving you a lot of my predictions, or my early predictions on what I think could possibly happen. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. It's Big Yams, and I'm fucking out. Yeah, have a good one.